Okay, Mayor, we're recording. You can start.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the workshop meeting, October 1st, 2020. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice that this meeting has been posted in public places, also in the newspaper. The next open public meeting of this council will be on Thursday, October 15th, time to be determined. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Cannon,
Here.
Hirsch,
Here.
Kelly,
Here.
Montone,
Here.
Swindell,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Here.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maxine. Brian, would you like to walk us through the 3 points that are on the workshop agenda
Sure.
tonight?
Yes. So number one is, if you remember from last meeting, we had an advertising issue, but it's the approving of the third amendment to the master redevelopment agreement with Somerset Developers LLC. Item two is, again, from last meeting. If everyone remembers, we had the presentation by the administrator from Red Bank for the Sustainable Monmouth Energy Aggregation Program, with Red Bank as lead municipal agency. And number three is approving contracts for bids for the Department of Public Works, road materials for maintenance and repair. That is all road materials, and that is funded out of our 2020 general budget under the roads, say exactly, the Fillstone and Blacktop budget lines. And as the councilman did state, we will need to go to executive session after the meeting for discussion on a few items. And then I'll have a small report during the regular meeting as well, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Brian. Items number one and number two on the workshop this evening have been discussed at considerable length. So not that I'm going to go over one or two, and we can still take questions from the council on anything about that, but maybe we can dive into a little bit more of three, Mr. Manager, and I understand basically it's work materials, but is there any more light on that? And I know, thank you.
It's basically just road materials for ongoing projects. I believe, is Sandra on, our director of DPW?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, that's you. Okay, I didn't know if that was you or not. So you want to just give a little bit more update for Mayor and Council on this bid, please?
Yes, this bid was for asphalt and stone, whether it's 3/4 inch clean stone or DGA. This is materials that DPW uses when they are repairing roads. They're doing repairs for sewers or water mains. And that's basically the places that we purchase these materials from.
Okay.
And any of this material will be for internal projects. This isn't anything that gets done through our regular roads projects. So this is
Correct.
the director and her supervisor of roads, streets and roads will handle.
So
Absolutely.
in the vernacular term, this is this product you must have on hand for any type of emergency on a road that happens, so we can do a fix on it, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. Any questions from council on any of the three questions that we have been discussing and right along? Any questions on that? No? Okay. That's excellent. So what I'd like very much to do at this point in time, I'll ask the deputy mayor, only because of the situation that we're in with so many people on, would you give us a motion to leave workshop into the regular meeting?
Yes, I would definitely like to do that, Mr. Mayor, and for my fellow council members. I'd like to leave the workshop 10/1/20 and move into regular session.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular Township Council meeting for Thursday, October 1st. This meeting also is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper. It has been posted in public places. And the next meeting of this council will be Thursday, October 15th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Cannon,
Here.
Hirsch,
Here.
Kelly,
Here.
Montone,
Here.
Swindell,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci, Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you very much. At this point in time, we'll have our moment of silence, in which we traditionally always remember our men and women in the armed forces who protect us here at home and on foreign soil to help us have meetings like we're having right now with our township. We also keep in mind all the first responders, doctors, nurses, medical people, lab, scientists, our police, fire, CERT, everyone who's on the front line still with this dreaded disease. So we keep them in mind, and also we should keep in mind all our friends that we've lost with COVID here in town and personally. And I invite the public to take a moment of silence for their own intentions at this point in time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And as we've been doing right along, I'll take out my trusty little lawn flag and we'll do the salute to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
Liberty.
Liberty.
justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And at this point in time, I'd like to ask any member of council if they have a report they would like to give tonight in this forum.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Yesterday, Deputy Mayor Martucci, the mayor, and myself went to the grand opening, and the township manager, Brian Russell, went to the grand opening of the LA Fitness Gym over on Route 35, and it's really, really a wonderful place. It's like state-of-the-art equipment. It's just, I think it's a welcome addition to the town.
Yes,
Very good point.
I'd like
Excellent
to
point.
also thank Maxine for all her hard work and all that she's done to help bring that forward. I know it was one of our campaign one of the things that we promised, that we would bring more and new businesses to the 35 corridor. And Maxine, I want to thank you for all that you've done to help push that forward. And it is a beautiful facility with many other businesses moving in a short period of time. So it's kind of a jewel for us on Route 35 in the Cliffwood Beach area.
Good job, Maxine.
Thank you.
Good job. And well said, Councilwoman and Deputy Mayor. Thank you. Anyone else have a report they'd like to give this evening on what's going on? Anything? Okay, not seeing, I'm going to ask. And Mr. Manager, our chief is not on tonight?
The chief's trying to get on, so I'll kind of speak before him maybe
Okay.
and get on. He has having technical difficulties, and he was actually driving back to headquarters to try to jump on real quick. But I'll
Okay.
just give a short couple little things, and he can come back in on a couple stuff.
Great,
Just a reminder
appreciate it.
again, Town Hall is open by appointment. We're still dealing with residents every day. So if anyone has any issues, please stop by, give us a call, and even if you just come by, as long as we're good, we can get you in. We do have our COVID-19 protocols that you do have to submit to coming in the building, but we'll gladly deal with anybody that needs any help in person. We are doing that, or you can still do it by the phone calls or emails, and our drop boxes, of course, are in the front and on the side of the building. This week and next week, we actually have a lot of road work going on in town. Tonight and tomorrow night, Lloyd Road from Route 34 to Route 79 is being resurfaced by Monmouth County. They're doing a night program. So from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., Lloyd Road will be closed in that section as they are doing their resurfacing program. Starting October 5th through the 7th, Van Brackle will be closed. and that is starting our mill and pave portion from Line Road down to Justice, and that'll be from curb to curb. That was actually a project that was a partial Aberdeen, and then also a portion of the New Jersey American Water. And but with the utilities, they only usually do the side that they have dug up and trenched. So we worked with them, and then we also great job with everybody when I came in to budget that properly. And we are now taking over that project from Line to Justice and have the entire road paved curb to curb on that. And the New Jersey American Water took care of some of the side roads that they were working on, and they were able to do a little extra since they didn't have to do Van Brackle. They went a little bit farther in what they had to do on some of the side cul-de-sac roads. But that'll be a project starting the 5th through the 7th will be milled, and then within weather dependent and into the following week they'll be paving it as well, and that's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Lennox Road by DPW, there's some residential construction going on over there where they need to tap into get into the sewer system. So they have to cut up some of the roads. So DPW on right now it's Tuesday, October 6th and Wednesday, October 7th. DPW will be closed to residents to get in because that gated area, the entranceway to DPW will be blocked off with the construction that's going on next door to us. So public access will not be granted on Tuesday and Wednesday. It may be shorter than that, but right now that's what the contractor is stating. But the gates for public use at DPW will reopen again on Thursday morning. But they'll be working from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Lennox Road. So if anyone has to go down there, try to do it this weekend. If not, you can go again starting, you have the weekend and Monday, and then we wouldn't be open again until Thursday. Lloyd Road, Van Brackle, Lennox. And just a reminder, the Monmouth County Board of Elections ballot box is at Town Hall, and it is unlocked, so you can start putting your ballots if you want to in a secure spot. It's right up, if you're staring at Town Hall from the parking lot, it's up on the right-hand side, right by the payphone. It is a secure box. It gets picked up once a day by the Monmouth County Board of Elections at 8 p.m. Through Election Day. And it is monitored by police our surveillance system that's around Town Hall. So it is secure, and there will be no issues. Rather than that, Mayor, like I said, nothing else from me. And our chief did just pop on, so I'm going to turn it over to the chief if he has any issues that he would like to let everyone know about.
Can you hear me?
There you go, Chief. We got you.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm late to the meeting. No, I don't have any issues. Just some updates. Did you speak of the COVID numbers?
I did not, Chief. I actually left that for you because I think you had a little bit better update than I did.
Yeah. Well, I think we were on the same page. To date, we have a total of 276 cases reported. We have at the current time tonight, we have 7 active members, and those are at 5 locations. So, I mean, it's kind of holding pretty steady. That's as much as we have on COVID. Everybody's back. Everybody's over their illnesses here as far as our personnel go. So we're doing fine with that. Happy to report that our recruits are doing well. The ones that are at the academy are passed firearms today. So that's great. That's a big hurdle. They're about halfway, so it's been going pretty quick for me. I know that. Maybe a little bit slower for them, but they'll be getting ready to graduate in December, and it's moving pretty quick. The other guys that are on the road are doing great, so we're very happy. Going back to our swearing in and promotion ceremony back on September the 16th. Nothing but great comments about how that came off, and we're very happy. And we're very happy with the new hires and the promotions. So, we're moving forward. Point of information: we'll be on the range down at Public Works this coming month. and we will be sending out notices to the residents. You know, we try to stay away from the range on the weekends to avoid any disturbing the neighbors. And but we will be down there several nights, and we'll get those messages out. During the month, we picked up, I don't know if I reported this last month, we picked up a 55-gallon drum of hand sanitizer from the county, so we can disperse that throughout through the different departments. And it looks like there's a little bit more on the way. And just the last thing I'd like to mention, we had a good story that came out this month. We had a missing person in Cliffwood, one of our seniors, walked away from home and wound up going to New York City. She used to work at the UN, and we called out Ocean County, sent a tracking dog up and tracked her to Matawan Avenue School, and we eventually found her several hours later at the Middletown train station. And but the dog was accurate, because what we found out was that a Good Samaritan picked her up, drove her to the train station, and she went on a one-day tour of New York City and then missed her stop on the way back. But everything turned out well, so it was a happy ending, and so everything is good. That's about it that I have.
Well,
Thanks.
Chief, on behalf of the council and the township and everyone else, again, I'd like to drop some praise on you, your executive staff, your men and women, for doing the kind of job you've been doing since March. I can't believe it's October 1st, right, Chief? But you guys have been just doing a remarkable job, and we thank you wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. I think we might have forgotten to say that we did have a concert over the weekend and some kayaking. And is Britt on? Brittany, are you there?
I was down there too, Mayor.
Okay, good, Margaret. Maybe you can.
Yeah, it was a wonderful night. When I got down, there were a few people kayaking. They had moved it from the beach because it was really rough and windy, and they moved it over to the little stream, that we have behind the backstop. And there were people sitting in their kayaks and really enjoying themselves. It was really nice. And I think the concert was great. I was there for a good part of it, and then of course, you know me, I walk, so I had to do my hour walk and then came back to the concert. So, but it was wonderful, and kudos, of course, to Brittany and everyone else down there. There were will I make a mistake if I say DPW was down there, or was it Parks people down there, Brian?
Actually, it was a mix of Parks and DPW. So
There you go.
Good. So I'm good.
both teams are down there making sure it's a good show.
Good.
They did a great
Excellent.
job, and but Brittany can add a little bit more. But it was a really nice night too for it.
Yeah. Good. That's very good. Good to hear that. Brian, in reference to the Dropbox from the Board of Elections, sometimes you just try and think too much about a situation. The flag mailbox and the way how colorful it is and where the position it is in the parking lot might cause a big confusion, because someone could see the red, white, and blue of that box. Is there a way that maybe we can cover it or put a sign on it and direct the voters to go to the front door of the building and not put any ballots in the flag box?
Well, Mayor, now that you say that, I can answer that question for you. Yes, we thought that ahead of time, and between Karen and Maxine and Brittany, we got some signs together, some lawn signs that'll be put out that direct you exactly to where the Monmouth County ballot box is. Because you're right, it does, even with little signs on there, some people don't always see that close up. So we do have those signs, and they are being put out. So you'll be able to know exactly where you're going in case you start to see many, the mailbox, the flag box, and now a voting box as well. So we do have it, and there'll be a sign right above it and down on the curb side. So it'll be extremely well visible for everyone to see and know where they're walking to.
Great. Thank you, Brian, very, very much. Any other comments, reports, before I move on to hearing of the citizens on agenda items only? Nothing? Okay. So now I would like to move to agenda item number 5, is the hearing of the citizens And at this point of the meeting, it would be on the agenda items only, in which I basically see 3, if I'm not mistaken. So if anybody has any questions or comments about these 3 particular items, please indicate to Brian by hand or thumb or some way that you would like to have an open mic.
And we have Mr. Paul. Go ahead, Mr. Rainier. You're all set to go.
Great, thanks. Paul Rainier, 109 Wilson Avenue, Aberdeen, New Jersey. Good evening, everybody. I really like this format. I can hear everybody. I'll say it again. I cannot when I'm attending in person. Yeah, the item on the municipal energy aggregation with Red Bank in the lead. First of all, I did read the attached resolution or ordinance, whatever it is that came in the email, and I was happy to see it. It's definitely a good thing. I know some towns up north in Essex County went through a similar program, and it's been working very well for them. They saved some money and also, increased the demand for clean energy. My question, I think you answered it. If I had known there was a presentation on this, I would have been there, and I didn't catch it on the agenda. So I was going to ask, where this came from, but you said there was a presentation at the last council meeting by Red Bank. So the only question I really have is, as this moves forward, will there be discussions, meetings or anything with Red Bank and the other towns involved that the public can be privy to?
Yeah, Brian, I think you could answer that.
Sure. So, Paul, first off, if you want to go to the YouTube page, that last week's council meeting, the presentation is on there, so you can actually see it directly with everything. We actually had it was a PowerPoint presentation as well, so everything's on there that you can take a look at. And
It's on the
that was,
website?
it's on our the Aberdeen Township YouTube page.
YouTube page.
Yep,
Okay.
I'll send you the link also to it. It's not a problem.
Great,
And
thank you.
so Ziad Shahadi, he is the borough administrator for Red Bank, and he's actually leading the charge on this. He actually basically approached me on it probably about a month ago with a few other towns. Matawan is involved. I believe Homedale's getting involved. Bradley Beach is involved. I think Asbury Park is involved. There was a few others that they had. Red Bank, of course. And I think there's a few others from Monmouth County. So that, they all came together. This one, as you read the resolution. Also, this gets us into the consortium with everyone, so we can be a stakeholder and a voice. And then once a broker is approved, or consultant, probably better, consultant is approved, and they start doing the process, there will be virtual town halls that they'll have set up, which they'll be coming to. And we already talked, I talked to the mayor about it. We were discussing with the mayor and council that we would definitely ask for an Aberdeen one directly. I know they're talking to try to do a couple joint ones, but we would definitely ask to have one directly come for us. And then as they were telling, also there would be a media campaign so everyone would understand what the program is, what the benefits are, what the cons are. If you don't want to be a part of it, how you can opt out of the program. So it'll be an extreme informational sessions going forward once the consultant is hired through a bidding process or RFQ process, and then that they start preparing the bid for the energy aggregate.
Right. There's two ways that these things have been approached. One is solely to save money, and another is to get the cleanest energy possible. Then there's a mix of the two, which is usually what happens in New Jersey. I know in California, they took it as an opportunity to see how clean they could make their energy supply. So it's good that there's a mix. In my ideal world, it would be focusing on getting renewable energy off the ground, generating a demand for cleaner energy. But I understand it's a hard sell if the price goes up. So thank you, though, for the information.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Paul, and thank you for your work on it also. You've always brought it to our attention in the past, and I know you'd be pleased with this tonight. This basically, the long and short of it, I don't want to belabor it because we've had discussions on it, but just tonight's action will bring us to the table. to basically be in the free discussions. And Paul, you brought up an excellent point. We too are somewhere in the middle of cost savings and cleaning up the environment. So yes, we're right in there, but this gets us to the table to have a meeting of the minds. So thank you for everything that you in the past have done on this issue also. Mr. Manager, do you see anyone else?
I'm gonna do one more jump, Mayor, but I see no one else.
Okay, I'll let you look again.
Yep, give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Oh, yep, hold on. Mr. Perry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Good evening, Mayor Taglerini, Deputy Mayor Martucci, members of the council. And
Good evening.
last but not least, Maxine. It's so good to see you, Maxine.
Yeah, good. Good evening, Mr. Perry, and thank you for joining us tonight. Your questions or comments?
Of course, I'm going to be talking on resolution number 2020-114. I thank the township for adding the amendment to the master development agreement to the resolution. My question is with respect to section 2.1 of the amendment there. It discusses a off-site 16-inch water main, and I'm just curious, is there a specific off-site location that money's earmarked for, or is just a generic type of designation?
Well, Mr. Perry, that is a long history. That water main, that was a directional drill under the Garden State Parkway, because the Parkway Authority, they don't like water pipes above the parkway anymore for a lot of obvious reasons. So that was a directional drill to increase the water pressure and the needs of the glassworks as we know it and the surrounding community. There was, of course, an expense attached to it, and therefore these are the dollars that are actually being discussed tonight. And we've been in negotiation with Somerset for a while, and they're coming back to the table right now. And I hope I'm answering your question, but this is basically being paid for by Somerset. And this is the schedule that you see of the payments to get them to the point where they are as current as they can. And to give you a little bit more information, and to be quite frank and honest and using street vernacular, they weren't going to put another nail or screw into that development until we got this ironed out, this agreement, and they paid their dollars and they have become current. And I hope that answers your question or follow-up, please.
So I understand where the site is, Mayor. Is that a completed project or is that a contemplated project?
It is a phase, and please, if I say 6 and it turns out to be 7 phases, please forgive me. But the reason this is all coming to a head, and it's to our advantage, is because Somerset started talking about the next phase of Somerset Glassworks, as we know it better as, in which it is somewhere in the vicinity of 98 to 99 townhomes. And we were not going to issue a single permit for any building to be done by this corporation in Aberdeen until we worked out this agreement. And thanks to our law firm, and rightfully so, and Mr. Zucker's law firm, they hammered out the agreement that you see here tonight. And once we are satisfied and they make their payments, they will get the permits needed to start the next phase. And I hope I've answered that, because sometimes I might want to go off on a tangent. But Mr. Perry, any follow-up on that?
I apologize, Mayor. I'm still confused.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the water project completed or is it not completed?
Yes,
I'm sorry. All completed.
And Aberdeen paid for that completion, and we're just looking to get reimbursed by the Glassworks or the Somerset Development Organization.
You've said it perfectly.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Perry, very, very much. Brian, you see anything
hello?
else? Yes?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not on via Zoom. I'm on through a number, so I can't raise my hand. But I'm curious. I'm new to the area. new resident to New Jersey, so love the community so far and like the format of this meeting. And I'm just getting kind of familiar with everything everybody's saying as far as the vernacular and the terms and the glassworks and whatnot. But when the previous person's question regarding Somerset and the building of townhomes and the water pipe, where exactly is that development located?
Sir,
Okay.
if I may, can you just state
Yeah.
your name for the record?
My name is
I apologize.
Nick Costello.
Good evening, Mr. Costello. Welcome.
Thank you. Love
Good,
the
good.
neighborhood so far.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad you joined us tonight. And as you heard me say, the next time we get together will be the 15th of October, if not sooner, in special needs. The development is located on a property that used to be known as Anchor Glass. It was an old glass factory, hence the name. It now was purchased by the Somerset Development. They had rented space in the old factory for years to a wide assortment of businesses, and eventually with the I don't know if this was before our attorney's time, but we went into an agreement, a redevelopment agreement with Somerset for them to build this particular complex, which includes townhouses, rental units, and so forth. Go ahead, Mr. Costello. I'm sorry.
No. You're answering. I was just curious because I'm not familiar with counties, communities nearby. So when we say Somerset, I have no idea what we're referring to. So I was looking for like a geographical location of
County
this
Road.
plant community.
If you were on Route 35 and you were in front of the Great Addison Park Catering Hall, came up that road, you would then on the left by the railroad tracks see the beginnings of Glassworks. And as I said to Mr. Perry, it's being built in a few phases, and right now they might be entering their second or third phase.
Cliffwood Avenue.
Excuse me,
Cliffwood
Mayor, that's
Avenue.
Okay,
Cliffwood
I think I've
Avenue.
actually
Yeah,
passed
so
that.
sorry, Cliffwood Avenue. Thank you. I apologize.
Okay, I think I might have passed it without realizing that that's the community. Okay, great. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to know.
Thank you, Mr. Costello, and welcome.
Mr. Costello, Mr.
Thank you.
Costello, just for the record, could we have
Yeah.
your address? Could we have
Your
your address?
12 Indigo Lane.
Good. Brian, anyone else?
There, no one else.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for those questions. At this point, I'd like to call on Councilman Hirsch to make a motion for item number 6.
Yes, to our mayor, deputy mayor, and fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to accept the workshop and regular minutes from the June 4th, 2020 meetings.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Cannon,
Yes.
Hirsch,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Montone,
Yes.
Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you so very much. We're going to 7A right now, and Councilwoman Montone, you have a motion, please?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Taglerini, Deputy Mayor Martucci, and fellow council members, I would like to make a motion to accept resolution number 2020-114, which approves the third amendment to the master redevelopment agreement with Somerset Development LLC.
Have a second on that? And then the clerk will, okay, the clerk will read us a description on that?
Resolution approving the third amendment to the master redevelopment agreement between the Township of Aberdeen and Somerset Development LLC.
Wonderful. Do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Cannon,
Yes.
Hirsch,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Montone,
Yes.
Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll move on to B, which would be the deputy mayor, please, for a motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and my fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to accept resolution number 2020-115.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Be it resolved that the Township Council that it hereby authorizes participation in the Government Energy Aggregation Program through the Sustainable Monmouth Alliance and designated Red Bank as the lead agency.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Cannon,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Montone, Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you very much. Councilman Cannon, it's very hard for me when I see something with roads and asphalt and gravel to give the motion to someone else. So would you do the honors, please, of item C?
Sure, Mayor, thank you. Mayor and fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 2020-116, a resolution awarding a contract for the DPW road materials and maintenance and repairs to Stavola Construction Materials of Tinton Falls for items 1, 2, 5, 4A, 5A, and to Trap Rock Industries of Kingston, New Jersey for items 3 and 4 and 3A.
Second.
Good. Okay, can I have a description of that, please, Madam Clerk?
Okay, hold on 1 second, I'm sorry.
Sure. No, take your time.
Be it resolved that it hereby awards a contract for the Department of Public Works road materials for maintenance and repairs to Stavola Construction Materials of Tinton Falls, New Jersey for items 1-2, 5, 4A, and 5A. Trap Rock Industries of Kingston, New Jersey for items 3-4 and 3A.
Good. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Cannon,
Yes.
Hirsch,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Montone,
Yes.
Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you very much. And that brings us to item number 8, which says here, hearing of the citizens' correspondence petition. Sometimes we like to call it new business or whatever it may be on your mind. So if you would indicate to Brian Russell, if you have a comment, question, something on your mind, please indicate to Brian that you would like to have your mic opened, and we'd love to entertain your question or questions.
Yes, first be Mr. Perry.
Good. Yes, Mr. Perry.
Good evening, Mayor. I still reside on Cashel Cut Through.
Okay.
My first topic is revisiting 171 Church Street and asking whether or not there's any updates since the township's meeting on September 17th.
All right. Michael, would you like to possibly handle that?
Yes, Mayor. I don't. Oh, hold on. There we go. I don't have any updates on it at this time, Mayor. I think that the town is still considering any potential interest in purchasing the property or a specific portion of it, but there has been really no change in its position since the last meeting.
And not to make too many public statements, I would have to say, Mr. Perry, that if an agreement could be made, I think that's a property that we would be interested in. And I think you understand what I'm saying. And it's been brought to our attentions and also scouted by Paul Rainier, who happens to be on tonight. So I would say that the interest level is considerable on that property. If we can get them down from the $1 million, as Councilman Cannon told us 2 weeks ago, is the cost.
Has the Aberdeen Assets engineer to inspect the property since September 17th?
Well, this is what we have learned since 2 weeks ago when I called DEP. And this is what we're trying to accomplish now. For us to inspect a property or to go on this property right now, especially if we wanted a DEP report on wetlands and everything else, we would need the permission of the current owner. That might be being negotiated now, and if we have an update on that, but we can't get an LOI on that property unless the current owner allows us on that property or any of our inspectors at this point.
Okay. Last time we spoke about the taxes on that property, the public records indicate in November of 2019 Aberdeen sent out two property tax notices. The first assessment was for a Class 3 BQ farm, assessing the property for $3,600, which brought their tax bill to $100.58. And then the same date, the tax bill went out, or the notice of assessment for $201,000 for a revised tax bill for 2019 of $5,600. My question is, and that was sent to B&D, the current property owner. And I asked it last week, and I'm not really certain of the answer, but are we able, because it was reclassified, are we able to go seek recovery of property taxes under the new classification 3A against either the prior owner or its estate or the current owner?
All right, I will venture to guess that we're allowed to go back 2 to 3 years, but I think if Michael could answer that specifically.
I'm not sure, Mayor, the exact amount of time that you could go back. Off the top of my head, I would have to look. That's, a specific tax question, but I'd be happy to get that answer to you, Mr. Perry.
That'd be great, thank you. Mayor, I have some few topics, but I will defer it if anybody else in the public wants to speak at this time.
One second. Go ahead, Mr. Perry.
Thank you. YouTube meetings, I thank Mr. Russell for the next day. All council meetings were updated on the YouTube site, so I appreciate that. Thank you. With respect to sidewalks, I had a conversation with Mr. Russell also on September 18th. The township went out and inspected the sidewalks that we discussed, that being on Route 34 from the B section heading north towards the train trestle and Walgreens. The township at that time believed the sidewalks to be the state's responsibility, and I'm just asking whether or not that issue has been resolved.
We're still working on that now, but I want to, and my director is on, and Streets and Road Supervisor I see actually is on too. But we put the request in to get cleaned, and DPW went out and actually finished it up today and cleared up that whole area. And they sent me pictures. It looks very nice and very good, and I appreciate them making sure they got crews out there to get that work done. But we're still working on the state/township responsibilities.
All right, that's great. I was going to suggest in the event that we are still having that debate apparently we are still having that debate, but it appears from Aberdeen's code that it has the obligation, if a commercial owner or residential owner is not maintaining their property, to go in and do whatever, correct the deficiencies on that property, and then bill the owner for that. And I would just suggest to the township that maybe they should take the same tactic with the state, and submit a bill to the state for whatever costs were incurred in maintaining their sidewalk. But at the end of the day, regardless of whose responsibility it is, I appreciate the township undertaking the effort to keep our community looking clean and well maintained, because somebody walking down the street doesn't know that it's a state sidewalk. They know that they're in Aberdeen. Turning to my next topic, resolutions and ordinances. Does Aberdeen maintain an index of its resolution and ordinances by year?
Well, I know Karen is the keeper of the book, and we do occasionally get updated copies for ourselves. And whether it's arranged by numerical order as they come along, or date or year, I don't know how she puts her master book together, Tom.
Okay.
You could certainly find out. Karen is going to be, yeah, Karen went to the dentist today, so it might be tough for her to talk, but we can find that answer out when she comes back.
I'm making notes, and she'll be back Monday. I'll have her reach out to you when she's back in the office.
The answer is yes. You're right on the website, guys, by year. There's a resolutions tab, and you click the year, and every resolution in numerical order is on there.
Right.
That's not the question, Craig. The question is whether there's an index. So I can go and I can do what you just suggested, and there's 114 resolutions. But if I'm looking for a specific resolution or ordinance, the public has to click and open up each resolution or ordinance, as opposed to, for example, tonight, Resolution 2020-15 talks about the designation of the, joining Red Bank and the electric conglomerate. So that's my question.
I think it's searchable by keyword, but they're all there.
Again, whether or not you're able to search it doesn't resolve the issue, because it's like me sitting in a calculus class. If I don't know the right question to ask, then I can't ask the question. I can't do the search. But if I can see an index, then the public knows what to look for.
Good point. Okay, that is a good point, Mr. Perry. So let's let Brian, if we can get an answer on that and see what Karen can do with that, that'd be great.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to my next topic is water. I located resolution 2019-133, which is a resolution that combines various utility bonds for water utility bonds. And there's 6 utility water bonds that consolidated going back to 2013 to 2020 for a total of about $4.4 million. So we're still in the water business, and we have been for quite some time, and to the tune of $4.4 million. Do we know what the debt service is on that combined consolidation?
I would say not offhand, but it's certainly we can get that answer. Angela, by some chance, is not on tonight, right?
I do not. Yeah, she was trying to get on, but I think she had an issue, so she is not on with me
All
right
right, let's see if we get that answer from Mr. Perry also.
now. Already have it written down.
Thank you, sir.
Last week, Mayor, Angela she explained the source of some of the funds for the down payments on the bond that was approved last meeting. It is particularly the down payments seem to be coming from the Water District and the Capital Improvement Fund. So my question is what comprises the Water District geographically?
Okay, you're talking about what part of town is serviced by Aberdeen Water. And I believe, I'll have to give it to you by sections. Cliffwood, parts of Cliffwood Beach and the Furneaux area, all of Strathmore, whatever you'd like to call it, the Levitt Homes, Strathmore is New Jersey American Water. And I hope that answers you somewhat. So we are providing water purchased from Old Bridge Water, okay? And then we sell it to our own customers after we purchase it from Old Bridge. I know that you and I have had these discussions, the council have had these discussions, and I believe we almost have completed the loop that if someday we wanted to purchase all our water, for example, from New Jersey American Water, that is something that we had instructed the previous manager to look into and try to complete. And for the possibility of someday not having water from 2 different sources, or in the words that you use, and not be in the water business per se. So it is an issue that is constantly discussed, but no movement for the lack of enough support.
Thank you, Mayor. What comprises where the funds come, the geographically district for the Capital Improvement Fund? Who pays into that fund? Is it fair? Let me ask you, is it fair to say that's everybody?
Yeah, for that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not coming from one part of town or another. That would be,
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Well, water testing, I had some questions concerning Resolution 2020-112. There's water testing for a little over, close to $4,200. There was some discussion whether it's testing water, whether it's to do with our sewer. Mr. Cannon indicated that we do it every year. And in fact, we do have done it every year. The Resolution 2019-102 was for $3,800. I'm still just, what are we testing? Is it the water? Is it the sewer as was suggested? Do we know?
We talked about that when I called you last Friday, Mr. Perry, but I don't have those notes on me right now unless the Director Caceres remembers that conversation, but I don't have those notes again in front of me.
All right, I apologize if we discussed it, Mr. Russell. I'll move on. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I said those notes I don't have. I have them back in the office. I just don't have them with me for this meeting.
Okay. The last thing on water, I will, with respect to Glass Works and an Anchor Glass, I can recall many moons ago, before I had to wear the reader so I could see everybody on the screen. And then Anchor Glass was just a concept idea. I suggested that maybe we should build a reservoir there. It seems that ship has sailed with respect to Somerset moving on with their different phases, but I just throw it out there for this council's consideration, since I wholeheartedly believe that water is going to be our next scarce commodity, and anything we do to get on the head of the curve in that regard, we should undertake and look at. But that's not to suggest to this council that I'm in favor of being in the water business. Lastly, Mayor, one of the things that topic of discussions was the opening of LA Fitness on Route 35. And I'd just like to revisit whether or not there's still any ongoing effort to attract a grocery store in any respect over there for the Cliffwood and Cliffwood Beach side. I know certainly Maxine took up a Herculean effort to try to bring that there. I hate to see that as a dead issue. I do note that the building there on exit 120, when you get off the road there and get on it, there seems to be a co-op grocery type business there now. I don't know if that's something we can reach out to. I also know that on Cliffwood Avenue, the property where the bagel store is located, that's now up for sale. So I just suggest to the council that maybe there's something there that we can take an opportunity of and try to bring a grocery store over to the Cliffwood and Cliffwood Beach side.
Mr. Perry, we couldn't agree with you more. There is a portion of what used to be the square footage of A&P that LA Fitness did not move into. I happen to have seen the landlord owner at the opening this week, Mr. Kemp, and they are still looking for food, because he said to me, I know, Mayor, he says, you still want food, and yes, we do. We really much want to do, and getting a Domino's or a Jersey Mike's is not what we're talking about, Tom. So we are still desperately trying to get a food store, and I thank you, because Maxine is too shy to thank you, but yeah, she did work her hands to the bone on all the stores, and also Hollyway Craft before she left also took that endeavor on, and we keep coming up short, including the landlord. But it's not a dead issue, and it's still our hope to get a food store there to service that part of town. Maybe they'll change their mind with the Glassworks, because no one in the early days of that shopping center being vacant, when I used to say to Mr. Kemp, well, we're building 500 units a few blocks away at the Glassworks, and plus, you know, Cliffwood Beach section, and he said to us, well, until Glassworks is built, it's nice to see it planned, but now it is being built, and you know, you figure the amount of people in that part of town alone, you would think that we have become attractive again for a food store. So yes, our endeavors are still to get a food store in that remaining square footage.
Mr. Perry, just so you're aware, as my day job, I am in the food industry. I have reached out to every supermarket, C chain that I know of throughout this great country of ours. And I've explained to them what we have, and we talked about square footage and available properties. And every one of them came back to me over time with the same answer. Great opportunity. Maybe when Glassworks is completed, they'll reconsider, but there's not enough rooftops to support a grocery store in that area at this point in time, which was the reason why A&P needed to close their doors, and nobody at the time, including C&S wholesalers who took over the A&P operation, had any interest in that neighborhood. Which we can. There's a member on this council or in town hall that doesn't want to see a food store in that area. I hope that helps with your question.
Thank you, Mr. Hirsch. Lastly, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to entertain a motion that Maxine is the best.
I'll second that for you.
I'll
All in
take
favor
from
of that?
yesterday. I have a couple more ideas for a supermarket over there.
Well, see what we're saying,
So,
Tom?
our
There it
next
is,
business
right?
Council meeting, we'll discuss it.
See, the Energizer Bunny is still paying
given
along.
up.
Very good. So I'll second that, Mr. Perry, and I'm sure the council are all saying aye on that. So you're absolutely correct. Just don't tell Karen, please. Because we still have her convinced as now she's as far as Mars, the best clerk. So that's good. Anything else, Mr. Perry?
No, thank you, Mayor.
You're very, very welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. Mr. Ryan, Russell, do we have anyone else raising a thumb or a hand or waving at you or emailed you, text you?
No, Mayor, we are no more hands raised.
Okay, so with that, I feel I'm comfortable to move on to number 9, and I'll ask our attorney for the executive session resolution.
You're muted, Mike.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor. I would just note that there is a possibility that following this executive session that we may be coming out in public and taking action. Resolution authorizing Township Council to enter into executive session. Whereas the Township Council are mindful of the right of the public to attend and witness meetings of governmental bodies at which public business is discussed and to be involved in all phases of governmental action. And whereas the Open Public Meetings Act nonetheless recognizes the authority of a public body to exclude the public from meetings in certain enumerated instances in which disclosure of matters discussed could endanger public safety, property, or other public interest or invade individual privacy. And whereas as authorized by the Open Public Meetings Act, be resolved that the Township Council will meet in private session at 8:30 p.m. on October 1st, 2020 to discuss the following specific items: potential litigation, zoning, contractual, shared services, personnel. Be it resolved that the matters so discussed will be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Have a second on that, please?
Second.
Good, okay. And yes, I want to thank the attorney for saying that. If we do take an action, we will come back live on the Zoom. It'll be taped. Obviously, the minutes will reflect the action. The actual Zoom tape will be on YouTube. And I invite anyone who's in the public tonight, if they would like to call me tomorrow morning if any actions were taken on the executive session. I will give you my cell number now if you all have something to write with. 732-275-7612. And that's not the first time I've given that out. It's all over Facebook, especially when we lose power. So if anybody would like to call me tomorrow morning to see if any actions were taken, I think we will be, and we'll come out back in public. It'll be recorded and added to the YouTube channel. So thank you. And
We need a vote, Mayor.
we need a vote. We need a vote for the executive session. Would you kindly do that by roll call, please?
Councilmember Cannon,
Yes.
Hirsch,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Montone,
Yes.
Swindell,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Yes.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yes, thank you very much. We have moved this to adjourn to workshop, and we will stop the taping right now and move into executive and come out if necessary. So thank you, everybody, for being on tonight with us. And Mr. Perry, Mr. Costello, Paul Rainier, thank you so very much. And if I left somebody else out from asking questions, I apologize. So we're going to move on to executive. Good night, all.
Thank you, Mayor, and to your staff. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Night, everyone.
If you're good to go, and Brittany, you're good to go. Thank you.